Hello and welcome back to my Atlanta garden. This is the second video in a series where we're talking all about adding new garden spaces. So the first video walked through tips on how to get the shape of your garden correct, mistakes I've made in the past when designing new garden spaces, and how I got this spot ready, how I removed the grass, and how I amended our beautiful Georgia red clay with compost to get this pollinator garden off to its best start. But today I want to talk about my favorite topic, which is all about the plants. And these are my favorite kinds of plants because they are perennials and shrubs. If you're new to my channel, I'm a primarily perennial and shrub girly because you put it in the ground once and it continues to get more full and lush year after year. But even with being a perennial and shrub girly, I will say one of the hardest things for me to do is to design a blank space. I'm really good at figuring out where I can stick that one random impulse buy from the nursery when I went just looking for inspiration. But I honestly struggle with trying to figure out the right perennials and shrubs when I have a completely blank space to work with. So if you're like me and you're also one of those people that a blank sheet of paper or a blank garden bed is something that's going to overwhelm you, Proven Winners Perennials and Walter's Gardens have thought of the most perfect thing for people like us, and it's called EZ Scapes. And basically on that website, there are a ton of different proven plant combinations that work well together, and they're organized and you can filter them based on what's going on in your garden. So the perennials that you see in this bed are Pollinator combo number 4. And what's super great about the website is that you can basically filter for whatever garden you're trying to solve for, whether it's full sun, full shade. If you need deer resistant, you can filter on that. For me, I filtered on full sun, long blooming, and clay tolerant because, as you can see, we've got a lot of gorgeous red clay here in Georgia. And even though I amend with compost, I do find that when you plant for the conditions that you've already got, whether it's sandy soil or clay soil, your garden just grows better because you're not trying to compete against nature. It's really hard to change your environment. It's much better when you plant for the environment you already have. This garden space is also the first time that I'm kind of being a big girl, and I'm a little proud of myself, so I want to tell you about it too, because we have to celebrate these little kind of victories. So one thing that I struggle with when I'm designing a garden space is that I really love all the perennials and I want to try all the perennials, and I lean towards planting as many different things in one space as possible. But what ends up happening when you plant a lot of different types of perennials in one space is that it ends up looking a bit more chaotic and a bit less thought through or designed or planned. I'm not a garden designer myself, so I can only repeat what other garden designers have said, but I always hear garden designers recommend sticking to a limited plant palette. So maybe 3 types of perennials and a few types of shrubs in a garden space, and planting more of each type versus planting a lot of different one-off perennials makes a garden look more cohesive and makes it look more designed and polished. And personally, I have a really hard time making those decisions, committing to just a few perennials instead of having a fun full sun space where you can plant them all and collect them all. But this time I stuck with the process and I'm only planting 3 different types of perennials here. So I want to tell you about it. Well, I'm cheating. There's some shrubs. So this shrub, if you're new to the channel, maybe you haven't heard me talk about it over and over again, but this is Anna's Magic Ball. It is a cute little conifer and something that's going to be evergreen in your garden, so that there's something here in the winter. And I have it all over the garden because it just stays in a cute little ball, and it's small enough to where you still have room to plant all the flowers around it, but you have something in the winter, and it keeps a cute little ball shape that you don't have to prune on. Because personally, anytime I try to prune something into a sphere, it looks like a lopsided oval cone. So I appreciate plants like this. The other non-perennial that's in this garden bed is right back here. This is a hydrangea because of course we need to have hydrangeas here in this bed. Tiny Quickfire is a panicle hydrangea that stays under 3 feet tall. So panicles bloom later in the summer. They bloom on new wood, which means you never have to cover them up in the springtime when we get those inevitable late frosts, and they will always bloom for you. So I love that. So these are gonna provide some late summer blooms. And like I said, I went with this EZ Scapes design and these 3 perennials because this is something that will keep the blooms coming, which is what you want in a pollinator garden that's right next to your veggie garden anyways. Let's talk about the 3 perennials that are in this garden bed. And the great thing about this perennial combination, which I take 0 credit for, this was shamelessly stolen or borrowed from the EZ Scapes website, is that the perennials have complementary bloom heights and also different heights. So the tallest perennial is in the back. It is an opening act phlox. It is opening act romance. Right now it's not blooming and it's shorter, but rest assured when it is in full bloom, it'll be 22 inches tall and a beautiful pop of magenta here in the back. I have planted, and I talk about all the time how much I love opening act Pinkadot phlox, and this phlox is in the same series. And the great thing about the EZ Scapes recipes is that you can really customize them and swap them out based on what you can find locally or your color preferences. The recipes are really just there to inspire you and make designing easier. So I went with the opening act Pinkadot Romance for a pop of pink. And then the middle layer from this recipe is this beautiful salvia. It is the Proven Winners Perfect Profusion Salvia, and it has a very similar colored bloom to the Cat's Pajama Nepeta, and that is secretly my favorite color. I love this beautiful icy light blue color. It is so gorgeous in a garden, and it is so easy to design with because it looks good and pairs well with almost every other color in the garden. And then quite possibly my most favorite short perennial of all time is Cat's Pajamas Nepeta. This is such a well-behaving, long-blooming, do nothing to perennial that I just really love. I have a whole drift of it up front, and every year I find myself adding more and more to the garden because it's really easy to get obsessed with the perennial that requires almost no care except for cutting it back every once in a while. And it just keeps on doing its thing and blooming. This isn't a new perennial variety by any means. It was Perennial of the Year many years back, probably when I first started planting it, 2020 something. I feel like it's COVID times, but I don't want to associate this with COVID, but really, really great perennial. It gets about 14 inches tall, and it will just constantly keep resetting and putting out new blooms as long as you cut it back when it's done blooming. This is a standout perennial. So let me get everything planted in the ground, and I'll walk you through how we laid out the plants and how I thought through the design, of course with a lot of help and inspiration from the EZ Scapes website. You guys, it's all planted and I can't believe how beautiful it is. I'm going to be gushing about this space for many, many garden tours to come because I think this area is going to have a really, really long bloom time. I'm really excited about this plant combination. Normally my brain goes to layering with shrubs and not perennials, and this is going to be so much prettier. So let me walk you through how I laid out the perennials and really just the one thing you need to keep in mind. Because everything is newly planted and little, it might be kind of hard to see. Also, the Nepeta is very much still blooming, but the other perennials, I'm going to have to do an update video on this bed so you can see everything in bloom together. The Cat's Pajamas is the queen of this bed, and I used the most of it because Cat's Pajamas stays under 14 inches tall, and also because this bed is going to be viewed from multiple angles. So it's not against a fence or against a wall. We're going to be accessing this bed not only from the lawn, but also from the garden area, that walkway back there. Low growing perennials like Cat's Pajamas are really useful in garden spaces like that because you're able to have a lot of flower power without blocking the view to anything. Another fun fact is that Cat's Pajamas grows a lot slower than I wish it would. I would love for this thing to spread and take over. That way I could divide it without having to go buy more. But really, this is a very, very controlled grower. It does not spread or take over, which is a shame because it is so beautiful. I would have it everywhere in my garden. But let's talk about the rest of the plants. So the way that I thought about laying out this bed was in drifts of each perennials. Cat's Pajamas is the first layer because it's the shortest. So I have a drift of 5 right up here, Another drift of 5 back there, a few here, a few in the back. Because this bed is going to be viewed not only from the lawn, but also from the garden bed, the lowest growing perennials are mirrored in the front and in the back because that's how we're going to be seeing the bed. And the second layer is this perfect profusion salvia. This salvia is an earlier blooming salvia than other varieties, and it also puts out an amazing flower show, which right now you can't see. I cut all of the salvia back at planting, but you can see new buds coming up. So this is going to be gorgeous later in the season. I'm definitely going to be doing an update on this garden space, and maybe I'll have the foresight to film it in different months so I can show you what the space looks like as it progresses in the season. Anyways, this perfect profusion salvia is the next layer, and it's planted in this drift right here. And then if I pan over here, there's a small drift of the perfect profusion salvia right there. And then it's echoed over here. They're planted right in front of the hydrangeas. And then behind the tater tot arborvitae is a drift of the opening act romance. So this is going to be more of a magenta bloom. Right now there are a few buds, so I'm hopeful that maybe we'll get some blooms later on in the season. But like I said, as this space comes into bloom, I will be doing update videos on it just to give you the full review, because right now the cat's pajamas is stunning as always, and this is one that I cut back and it just continuously reblooms. You can see there's more buds coming behind these blooms. But the other perennials, we will have to exercise patience to see in bloom altogether. So, like I said, promise to do an update video, but I think even without all of the perennials in bloom, this space came together absolutely beautifully. I think it's pretty easy to replicate something like this in your own garden space. You don't have to be a master gardener to lay out your plants once you have the recipe. If you have plants that bloom in complementary times, you will have a space that is gorgeous for a long, long time, and something that is going to bring you joy over the entire season instead of just one and done. So I'm really, really excited and grateful to Proven Winners Perennials and Walter's Gardens for putting together such a great resource to inspire amateur gardeners like me to get out there and play with plants in the garden. Now, EZ Scapes does have some suggested layouts for all of their EZ Scape recipes. Unfortunately, none of the recipes looked exactly like my weird space, and I think since every garden space is unique, you might likely find that the same. But as long as you're sticking with the basic principle of shorter perennials up front, larger perennials in the back, you really can't mess this up. I love the look of planting like perennials together and planting large drifts of each perennial. That way, as things come into bloom, you get a large swatch of flowers versus one here, one there. That's the garden style I tend to lean towards these days. I do have other spaces that I planted years back where I added a couple of accent plants that were taller, and that's beautiful too. I really don't think that there's any way you can mess up planting flower, have complementary colors and complementary bloom times. So I think the best thing to do is to go out there, get inspired, don't overthink it, and get some gorgeous flowers in the ground, because you'll quickly find, even before you get your plants in the ground, the pollinators are going to love it, and most importantly, you're going to love it. You're going to have a space that brings you joy. Instead of more lawn, you have to mow. So I hope this has been helpful. The EZ Scapes website is going to be down in the description if you'd like to play around with it and get inspired for plants that are going to grow well for your conditions, for your light, for your zone. Thank you so much for watching this video. Thank you for supporting my channel. Happy planting, and I will see you in the next video.